Happy Thursday, everybody, and welcome to Pyragraph Live from the Albuquerque Press Club. This is very exciting. It's our new talk show. We've done kind of an experimental run, but that's about it. I'm Perry Packeru, your host. I'm the publisher and editor of Pyragraph, which is an online creative career magazine. We feature daily posts from working artists, musicians, and other creatives, and that's what we're going to talk about here at Pyragraph Live from the Press Club. We're really excited. This is my co-host, Clark Conde.
Hello.
Our creative director.
Yes.
How's it going?
Very good. How are you?
I'm great. It's exciting.
Yes.
We did go live last week.
We did.
But it wasn't the same. We didn't tell anybody in advance.
Didn't tell anybody. It was a real soft open.
So I think we had 2 live viewers.
Yeah.
That was, I don't know. I wish they would contact us. Tell us what they thought.
Yeah.
It's quite a sample size. And we also have Jeremy Kinter, Pyragraph's contributing editor. Humbird director. What's your title at Humbird? What the heck?
Well, I'm a co-founder of Humbird along with
Co-founder.
Saint and Kyle Ruggles.
Awesome.
Who are
I
roaming
guess
somewhere.
My role was publishing director.
There you go.
Until we stopped publishing. So I technically don't know. I'm just kidding.
You learned from Pyragraph how hard it is.
I learned
Right?
what it actually takes to run a publication.
Right.
And then
So you shut the fuck
we
down.
stopped publishing. So,
Well, I'm glad I could teach you something.
yes, you've taught me a lot.
And we should say once again, we are here
Live.
at the Albuquerque Press Club.
We're really excited to be here.
Yeah.
Anybody who's been here knows it's this like weird and cool treasure in Albuquerque. It's a log cabin on top of a hill that people have driven by like a million times, and they're like, "What? There's a press club up there?"
Press Club. And we're on the flight deck.
Yeah, we are on the flight deck. We've got Turtle O'Toole at camera and audio. Hey, Turtle.
Turtle's trying to make sure everything isn't.
I think you'll hear what I said like in about
Yeah,
10
probably
seconds.
about 10
That's cool.
seconds, yeah, that's great.
cool. But yeah, the press club is awesome,
Sure.
and we're really thankful to be here.
And it's great. We just started. It's autumn. It's
Yeah.
a new thing. We had a
As
busy week.
We did. We did. 24 hours of art just happened.
24 hours of art.
Yes, that was a really busy weekend. Humbird pulled that off to second year in a row.
Yep.
And Pyragraph had a teeny tiny part. We put on a workshop, which was really cool. We talked about indie promotion for artists and the creative economy in Albuquerque, which are always topics we love talking about.
Yeah.
But then you guys did like a whole festival.
Yes.
Music and art and blah, blah, blah. And I bet you're excited that it's done.
I'm so happy that it's done.
Tell me how it went,
honestly.
though.
It went really well. Friday's events at Tractor Wells Park, which we called the opening ceremonies, we had 5 musicians. Abe Makes a Film was screened in the brewery, which was actually really cool.
Awesome.
We also had a dance performance by Lisa Nevada Dance Company, and then Trick Luck did their Reptilian Lounge.
That was super fun. I was there for that.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun.
That's great.
And they did it outside, and we had the whole parking lot closed off, and that was a really good turnout. And then Saturday was our big day at the Civic Plaza.
Yeah.
And we had about 14 artists. We had a gallery and a tent in the middle of Civic Plaza.
Our guest today, Sam Miller, which I haven't mentioned yet,
Right.
Yeah.
played that day.
Yeah. So we
With his
had
band.
about that day. I think it was like 8 hours of music, and Sam Miller flew down and played for us, and it was amazing.
It was really fun. I had a great
It
time.
was so cool. That sound. I am not typically the biggest fan of the Civic Plaza. I hope anybody employed with the city of Albuquerque is not watching. But this made me like it a little more, and it was so cool seeing musicians because we picked these people specifically because we love them.
Yeah.
And I think that's something that people don't understand. They think it's just this like ragtag group of artists or whatever, but we specifically seek out these artists.
Yeah.
So for me to I'm like a little kid because I get to see people like Sam Miller play at the Civic Plaza with this booming sound, which was really
Sound was
amazing.
great.
Sound
it
was
was
really
a
good.
great
Yeah.
space.
And then Cactus Tractor was amazing, and the Limbs put on a fantastic show.
Next time we should stream it. Pyragraph should try to stream it.
Yeah.
Now that we've figured out a couple tiny chops of streaming, we should try that.
Yeah, that definitely.
But it was really great. Ciclavia was the next day, and you guys
Yeah,
had
that was
another
Sunday.
day. Yeah, so people were biking everywhere. They shut
Yeah,
down
that was
4th
really
Street.
cool. There was a lot of traffic coming in and out of there.
Yeah.
We just had like an acoustic set,
Sweet.
about 5 hours of music. We had a DJ.
Cool.
And it was good. It was the same setup as Saturdays, and it was pretty low key, and everyone was just hanging out in the beer garden in the one little grassy knoll, and
Well, if I'm not mistaken, Josh, who's our other contributing editor, is going to write about pulling off a festival.
Yeah, so
Because-
he was
yeah.
he was like the integral part of this, along with Carlos Contreras
Yeah.
of I'm a Star Productions.
Tractor,
and
who's one of
Brew.
Pyragraph's sponsors, was a big part of it. It was
Yeah.
really a great event.
Yeah,
it was great to see it put
was,
to use
it
so
was
well.
really smooth this year, and we're looking forward to next year. We already started planning today.
Awesome.
Very
Speaking
cool.
of smooth, I'm going to smoothly transition into our guest today.
Right.
Thanks so much for sharing
Yeah,
with us,
thanks,
Jeremy.
Thanks for
and
having me.
and we're excited to be doing this new show. So we're going to
Yeah,
be
it's really cool.
figuring this out as we go, and
Yeah.
you have to come keep giving dispatches, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome.
All right.
So we're
So-
really excited.
We had a guest planned, or we were trying to get one.
No, we didn't.
We were trying to get the Pope on because he was in town.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
He was going to talk about, some experiences and some lessons learned, but then we figured out he was both infallible and unavailable.
Well, and
So,
that makes for a
you know,
tough guest.
It is
a
tough.
really tough guest.
It is tough.
So thankfully, Sam stepped in
Right, and it
to
was
the
great.
Pope's large shoes.
Right.
And Sam Miller is a musician, and he's from Albuquerque. Does not live here anymore. His most recent album is called You Need to Hear It, and you can hear it at sammiller.bandcamp.com. And we're excited that he's in town. He's been on a show, not this exact show before, but you were on Self-Employed Happy Hour, which is another Pyragraph production. Pyragraph, I was going to say Pyragraph half-ass production, but
Yeah.
no, we're full ass now. I think
Full
we're
ass. So
you know.
welcome, Sam.
Welcome to Sam.
Yeah.
Thanks
Thanks
for
for
coming.
having me.
Yeah, it's really nice to have you back. So you've come back. This is maybe our first repeat guest. I think it might be.
I think it. Yeah.
It's
I think
exciting.
yeah. Well, it's not really a repeat guest because it's a different show.
Yeah, but it's the second time that I've had like a mic and like a setup to interview and to chat with Sam on a show.
Feels like the second time.
I'll call it that. How's it going? Welcome back to town.
Doing very well, thank you.
Are you in town for much longer?
For this weekend and then taking off.
I hear that you're going on tour.
Yeah, going out to Europe for the next month, for all of October.
Right.
And I'm playing bass with Ryan McGarvey.
We tried to get Ryan on today, but he wasn't available.
Yeah, it's
It would
too
have been
bad.
it would have been cool.
He's extremely busy,
Yeah.
tying things up.
Yeah.
He's got a lot more to deal with than me.
Right.
And that's
Well, you're
the
gonna be
beauty of playing someone else's gig.
Okay, you said you're going to be playing like for how many months with 2 days off or something? It sounded really particularly busy.
Oh, it's 30 days with 27 gigs, I think it was.
Wow.
Yeah, so.
What countries mostly? We have
So-
some European peeps.
Oh, yeah?
We do. We do.
Lots of Germany.
Lots of Germany.
Netherlands. I think we're back in Belgium,
Back in Belgium.
Switzerland, Austria,
Nice.
and the UK.
Cool.
So we'll be in England, Scotland, and Wales.
Nice.
Czech Republic, I think,
Sweet.
too. Yeah.
Very nice.
Looking forward to it.
Yeah. So you moved to New York about a year ago, right?
About a year ago, yeah.
I think you were on Self-Employed Happy Hour right before you were moving to New York, and you had actually just gotten back from a European tour with Ryan,
Yeah,
right?
it just feels like Groundhog's Day.
Right, but like,
Oh, well, it's a little different, I guess. Yeah.
well, different
Other
order.
other-
Like the order is so.
But that's kind of how it works.
Yeah. So how has your year been in New York? Are you?
It's been
Digging it?
fantastic. I'm appreciative of the fact that I've gotten to come back here, go to the Caribbean. We played a blues cruise down in the,
Out.
Blues Cruise.
which is pretty sweet.
I didn't hear about that.
It's amazing. I don't like talking about it because it just sounds like bragging.
Right.
I made it hard on myself though by staying up all night every night.
Well,
Right.
right.
It felt like the only thing that really made sense to do.
So you
but-
were on a ship, like.
Yeah, it wasn't your normal like long extended cruise ship gig. It
Yeah.
was it's this company that does music festival cruises.
Yeah.
And so it's 3 or 4 days on the boat with your favorite bands, and in this instance it was the blues rock crowd.
Wow.
There's
The blues rock.
they were
crowd.
still fun to hang out with. No,
Right.
it was great.
Can we send a
it was
photographer
fantastic. Yeah.
with you next time? get a press pass?
We might want to.
Seriously, I think
I
that'd be
approve
nice.
of this. I approve of this.
That's cool by
we'll,
you?
We'll have to talk to the
We're with Sam.
upper management.
We're with
for this
Sam,
one.
and
We can broadcast from the
absolutely.
From the ship.
Clearly,
Ship
we
to shore.
clearly we have the skills and
Yeah.
And
expertise.
Ship to shore.
in the dead of February, I think that's the right time to go,
That
which
might
was
work.
fortunately when.
Turtle, you can
yeah.
set up the ship to shore, right, for the whole broadcast. That wouldn't be a problem.
Yeah.
Ship to shore. Okay, that's good. That's good. Good to hear. I'm getting an affirmative from Turtle about that.
How's it going over there, Turtle?
The delay.
The delay.
Yeah.
The delay.
Yeah, sure.
That's all I'm gonna say.
Well, Turtle, you're a champ. Thanks again for being our AV guy.
Yeah.
So yeah, streaming from the middle of the Caribbean would be extra fun.
Yeah, I think so.
That'd be a really good time. That sounds amazing, though. I didn't see that. You never put up pictures or anything from. That sounds like a fun gig.
Yeah, I need to be better at like doing that. That's what people do these days.
Hey, you're
Look
good.
where
enough,
I'm at.
You're
I'm-
good enough at the music. You really are. You know I'm a
Thank
fan. My
you.
kids
Thank
know all
you.
the words to your songs. I mean,
That means so much to me. It's
Yeah.
I think when kids walk around singing it, it's always
It's-
the best thing.
Turtle. No, I'm not
Makes me
making it up. It's
feel
really.
like-
It's cute. It's so well.
Aw.
For one thing, you have a very clear, articulate voice, and that is not the case for a lot of musicians. So they actually can hear the words and they know what you're. Their favorite line is
Aw.
"We'll go where we want to go." We'll. That's a great. The kids.
That's what it's about, yeah.
It's a great line.
We could all relate on that.
Are you working on a new album or anything? Your last
I
one, You
am.
Need to Hear It, has been in constant rotation in our car.
Oh.
But, I think I heard you say you maybe were working on something else. I'm not
I
trying to
am.
be greedy. I'm just wondering.
I'm grinding through. I haven't started officially recording it yet. The last album was like home recording. That was really that was like the theme of the album, really. Like I was
Yeah.
recording the songs as I wrote them,
Yeah.
track by track, with like one mic. I mean, much like this. This is what it would look like.
Right.
And my next album, I want to go in with a bunch of songs that I've already prepared,
Right.
with arrangements that have been thought out, arranged, and then have a band and then document it. So I've been demoing songs and working on it a lot, but
Do you,
haven't started actually recording it technically.
Do you
Awesome.
end up writing on tour?
I do, yeah.
Is that better for you for writing or not? Or do you
You-
prefer to just have the off time and then you're just kind of have a gig every once in a while, and then, or is it the crush of playing every day? Is that better?
That's I think it's not one or the other necessarily.
Okay. Does it make any difference?
I write songs at unexpected times, though. In the mid, like if I have work early in the morning and I'm trying to force myself to fall asleep,
Yeah.
because I'm like, I have to be up at 6:30, even though I usually wake up at noon.
Yeah.
Some weird,
Yeah.
I'll be just about to fall asleep, and then an idea will come in, and I'm like, ugh, I could just remember it. And then
Does that ever work?
No. So I start
Hardly
to think,
ever.
okay. I'm gonna I'll reach over and I grab my
Yeah.
little device. I recently got an iPod. I still have a dumb phone, but I have a device, and then I'll type in the line, and usually that unfolds into some sort of song. And so that actually has kept happening to me. So that's one instance of weird timing for inspiration, but.
One of the problems I run into is running. When I'm running,
Uh-huh.
I'll get a line, and then it's like I got to stop and punch it into my phone.
Yeah.
And that's, you look like an idiot out trying to run. Then you stop, and you're sweating.
Texting.
I do the
I
same
text
thing.
to
I do.
myself with my dumb phone.
Me
I don't
too.
really have a notepad.
Yeah.
Not that I know of, at least. So I'm walking, kind of trying to.
I know. I'm that person. I do that now too. I like text myself. Usually text myself. Sometimes I email myself. And I'm like, I'm that asshole on the running trail. It's like when people are walking by with their dogs really in the moment. I'm like, God, I feel like such. But like, I can't let it go.
And it looks
right?
like you're texting someone,
Right. It looks like I'm
which
like.
is totally lame, right? Because this
Hey.
is supposed to be your time where
Right.
you're doing it.
What's going on? No, it's like.
Songs come to me weird at times, like maybe like this.
Yeah.
This could be one of those times where I'm getting a song idea and
Yeah.
I'm just. Okay, remember it.
If you have to hop up and run off, you can do that.
Right.
That's fine.
I was
It's
just
that kind of show.
It is.
We really want to make
write
sure
a song. That would actually be. Well, I don't want to do it now. I don't
Yeah,
have.
yeah.
I don't. I was out I was driving around with my dad all day out in the Zuni Mountains.
Why? For fun?
We
I'm so
were
jealous.
turkey hunting. We
Get
had
out.
a bow and arrow and or a crossbow
You weren't
bow or
hunting
whatever.
with the car.
Wow. Yeah.
There were some cows on the road, and I actually asked my dad, like, does anyone just like kill cows? And then he went into like, no, obviously
absolutely
not.
Yeah.
That's
Really
that's
hurts
like a
the
federal. That's
part on the car too.
Right.
and that's a very illegal thing to do too, because
Wow.
it's the history of it. It's been a.
It's rustling.
You're a rustler,
yeah.
It's
right?
basically rustling.
I
Yeah,
didn't
it's probably
know
a hanging
he was
offense in
teaching me about
Mexico.
this.
Good to know now. Now that you live in New York.
Good to know, yeah, because I see those cows and I just think, God, tasty cow. But
Did you get any turkeys?
No.
Bow and arrow and turkey.
The
That
closest
sounds really
I got
hard.
is when we set up a can, and I shot a pellet after like 10 rounds. It's one shot at a time. I finally hit the can. That's as close as I got. My dad hit it 2 out of 2 times. He was like, it's maybe the what is it called, the sight, whatever.
Right,
He said
yeah.
maybe it's set for my weird.
He was being so nice.
Yeah, he was just like I could like it was a pump one. I was like,
Have you ever killed an animal?
no.
Have you killed an animal?
Me?
Yeah.
Not intentionally.
No, I have
Jeremy's
killed
raising-
I've
Jeremy
killed a
really
fish.
can't.
I've gone
killed a fish.
fishing and had to whack it.
Me too. That's it.
But you have?
I've killed a lot of animals.
What have you killed?
I've
A lot.
Deer,
Deer,
javelina, squirrel,
javelina.
rabbits,
The elusive javelina.
gophers,
Wow.
antelope.
I know Turtle killed a beaver once.
I killed a turkey once.
That was bad.
He doesn't want to
bad
recall.
idea.
Yeah.
My dad brought that pellet gun out on another hunting trip. I say hunting trip because apparently he never hits anything. It's kind of an excuse to go out and having
Right.
a backpack with some
Right,
stuff.
it's a good time.
And he said he thought there was no way he would hit it, but there was a little squirrel perched up and he shot it right in the face, and it fell it's dead obviously, and he said he felt like horrible about it, and he said I kind of like squirrels, and then he said he had to go bury it. Like he felt really bad about
His
it.
ceremony.
Seemingly so, yeah. So driving around, we kept seeing these squirrels, and he's like, I could just catch my share of squirrels or whatever. But
Some
no,
squirrel
I feel
pie.
bad about it.
Dang.
But-
Well, he's glad to spend some time with his son back.
Yeah, it was
back in town.
It was actually pretty fun.
That sounds cool.
Yeah. It was cool.
I wanted to ask you about recording, or not recording, but practicing actually with the local musicians that you've been playing with.
Yeah.
Because it was maybe about a month ago you played, where was it? At, was it Low Spirits? Yeah, it was Low Spirits with Meredith
Uh-huh.
and Kateri and who else? I'm sorry, I'm spacing out. Poncho, of
Poncho.
course. And I think, did Greg Williams play with you that night on
No,
drums?
Joe was playing. Joe
was
Wilson.
playing. Joe Wilson, okay. And then that same lineup was the lineup I saw you play recently with again.
That is correct.
And
yes.
when you first showed up a month ago, I was like, how did these guys, I mean, your songs are like fairly complex. They're not just like 3-chord country songs. And so I was wondering if you could share with us how you guys, I'm assuming you shared some recordings and did some practicing and whatever. How'd you make that work?
Poncho he's virtuoso of sorts. That's giving him too much credit, but the music is a little counterintuitive, and it's not straightforward country songs or 1-4-5.
Right.
It's not like just do a blues and G or whatever.
Right.
I just send him a recording, or he already knows the song somehow. Even sometimes we haven't played it.
I love that.
So I don't need to worry about him. He just learns stuff, and the others and him too. Even though he doesn't open the email, I've sent them all. I've sent them all lyrics and chords to the
Yeah.
songs, and they have a head start with that, and then we all meet up once or twice before the gig, go through.
So they probably maybe all played together without you?
No.
Oh, they didn't.
No,
Because I figured
they
well, at
practice
least they
on their
would,
own.
because
So
you're in New York and they're here in New Mexico. No. Oh, they
I
each.
I practice. I played the songs because a lot of songs that are recorded, they're recorded in a different key, or I had a verse that I've since cut out, and et cetera, et cetera.
Right.
So in this instance, the latest shows we did, replayed the songs in the keys that I'd be playing them at, the tempo I'd be playing them at, and then wrote out the lyrics and chords so they could practice it on their own.
Perfect.
Then we got together and worked everything out, except for Poncho, who couldn't make it. He was too busy.
Right. He'll just
Yeah,
show up the
he's-
night of the show.
Like that's one.
he's
Yeah,
like,
he just
yeah.
shows up and it's just okay. All right, whatever. But everyone else, it's we practice a few times and they have a chance to work on it on their own. And that's really how it goes.
That's
It's
great.
great.
I
It's-
mean,
it's
a
a-
lot of musicians kind of dream about doing that, both recording and or just getting sets together. But it's sometimes a little harder than it's like, oh great, we'll send files to each other, and sometimes it's a little trickier than that.
Recording the song as you want to play it,
Yeah.
and writing out the lyrics and chords. It's a pain, but it's really worth it. That's made this so much easier for me.
Yeah.
I've thought about it for a long time, but I just have put it off because it sucks.
Yeah.
Sitting there typing out your lyrics and
Totally.
typing out the chords. What chord is this? It actually is not that. It took an hour, but I've been putting it off for years, really, and finally did it. And now it's so much easier. Like
Right.
record the songs and write out the chords, and give
you're good.
someone a few weeks. That's also having 2 or 3 weeks to practice the songs. That makes a huge difference.
You don't have your song list in your pocket, do you?
No.
But some of the people I've played music with, like Clark and another friend who keeps his
I keep it in my
papers
shoe.
in a duffel bag.
Yeah.
That's what briefcase. Maybe you don't need a folder, but my favorite was my friend who keeps them in a duffel bag. And then I remember you pulled out your song list, and it was. I mean, I can't describe the nature
Yeah.
of like tissue paper it had become, and somehow you could decipher. I don't know.
Well,
so
I already know all the songs.
you know all the
yeah.
songs, so it would be hard for you to do
I
what
just
Sam
kinda-
is
yeah.
suggesting
I'm just they
to
just a
teach other
reminder.
people. Right.
Right. No, I think people have always enjoyed working with me because of that.
I loved
you
watching
have-
you pull that out. I was like, wow.
And these are like from a typewriter. There's no other copy.
I think they were handwritten. Were they?
Oh, handwritten.
Handwritten,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay, so you could scan them maybe.
Yeah, maybe not this particular. We'll have to maybe have that be a feature of the show one of these days.
Yeah.
I'm also flexible, which is something I should point out that
Yes.
helps with this process
Yes.
of not necessarily getting to practice with your band a lot, but having a show to do with them.
Yes.
Like finding people, as with my band, Kateri Lopez, Poncho Sombrero, Joe Wilson, Meredith Wilder. I respect their aesthetic choices and their styles, and I want their voice to come through,
Right.
even though it's a Sam Miller show.
Yeah.
I want them to interpret the music the way they hear it
Yeah.
and do whatever they want with it. So I'm not too domineering over what a specific interpretation
Yeah.
of the chord they're doing.
That comes through, I think, when you watch you guys.
And it's fun. It makes it
feels
fun.
spontaneous.
I don't feel bad about getting them to come do this show. It's it's a band.
you got that wrong.
No, we're in a band together.
Yeah.
I might be like that with Poncho, but no, we're in a band together, and it's only really called my name because I do the same set with different bands around the country.
Right.
So it's the only way of keeping it a cohesive project.
Yeah.
But every time, I mean, the band really colors it and makes it what it is. And so,
Yeah.
I think finding people who you respect in that way and
Yeah.
letting their voice come through and being, I direct the songs, and when they're asking like, what was this, or if something sounded weird, it'll be like, oh,
Right.
that's that. Sorry, my stupid brain came up with that chord. Doesn't make sense.
Right.
Whatever it is, I help make it happen, but everyone gets to contribute their own style to it.
So before New York, you were living in Seattle for a while.
Mhm.
You talk about having bands in different cities. So can you like in a nutshell break down what are the difference in the music scenes between here, Seattle, and New York? Like how different of a adjustment? How much of an adjustment did you have to make in all these different places?
Well, my perspective of the place is very. It's relative to my my general perspective towards music as I've aged and as I've come through from one phase to the next, and so I come back to Albuquerque now with a whole different impression of the Albuquerque scene.
Yeah.
There are some there's constants though, and I think in all of them there's some constants. I feel like in Seattle was compared to New York at least a more scene-oriented city. Even if you're playing in the punk band or the pretty folky band with 4-part harmonies, everyone knows each other. You're playing in the same venues. It's more incestuous.
Yeah.
And so far in New York, I found that it's more varied, and there are scenes, but you don't need to play the same venue.
Yeah.
There's no reason that every different type of music would play the same venue. There's less reason for certain commonalities.
Interesting.
And because there are just seemingly infinitely more people, you're not going to have the same people who have played in different bands as much.
So wild.
But maybe in different scenes.
Yeah.
Maybe within a specific scene, but not the New York scene. I mean,
do you enjoy
I've only
that?
been there a year or two, and so I can't really say this with any authority, but that's just my general impression of it. I think they're weird comparisons though, because New York is 20 times the population of Seattle.
Right.
And Albuquerque is even smaller than Seattle. So I think
every musician knows every other musician here, practically.
Yeah.
I mean, there are certain, like, I don't know any metal musicians, you know what I mean?
Seattle and Albuquerque are closer. I think they're closer related than New York and Seattle, or New York and Albuquerque.
Is it competitive? Albuquerque, I have found to be, like, I came to music kind of late in life, and people are so nice and, like, welcoming and supportive, and it's just been, like, such a nice experience to play music here. Is it more competitive and, like, pissy?
I feel it's very competitive and pissy. Well, I don't want to say that. Just as a
that was
blanket
my word.
statement,
That was
but
my word. Sorry.
It's more so like that in, I think, in Seattle. There's an underlying competition, and maybe that's not what everyone would.
New York's just so big, you could just take anything.
New York, I don't really sense that at all. It's I feel like you're never going to be the star of New York.
Right.
So everyone's doing it because they just simply love to do it. I mean, I get there are people who are trying to be the next pop star or the next huge star of the world, but really it's because it's such an expensive place to live, and it's so actually you're going so far out of your way to play music. Right. You have to have your practice space. You're paying so much money to do your gigs. Yeah. Basically, if you're practicing and you're paying to play, even if you're. Well, I don't know. I think the bands that are successful from New York probably are playing all over the place.
Right.
And they do a few big shows there, and they do make money. But I feel like scene-wise, it's really for the love of music. It's like that everywhere, but in Seattle, there's this competitive kind of like scene vibe. Yeah. That
I lived in Seattle for a couple years, many years ago. I found it to be a little bit. I don't know. I didn't totally groove with the scene there. I mean, it just felt a little like everything was kind of people were aloof. I felt that's what I felt. But that was 20 years ago. Really
and it's probably changed a lot. It's probably the place is always changing, and really I'm always changing. Yeah. So from the 3 years or the year it's been, that 3 years of time I've spent in Seattle might seem like a completely different city. Right. I might go back one day and have a whole new impression of it.
But as a music lover, it's great. I mean, sometimes it's a bummer, like being in Albuquerque, people don't bands don't come through as much. Yeah. And being a music lover in those bigger cities, or when I lived in San Francisco, it's like, of course, everybody comes through. It's great. I mean, and then you get complacent. You're like, oh, the parking's gonna be such a pain. It'll be so hard to get a ticket. I'll just wait till they come back next time. I remember there were a couple shows that I skipped because of that. I feel stupid now, living in Albuquerque, wishing more bands would be coming through. But
well, one thing, if I can segue,
is
that if they are coming through, they can stop by the show.
Absolutely.
And,
we when we did Self-Employed Happy Hour, it was in the morning, which perhaps you remember, Sam, and touring bands did not want to show up at 10 in the morning. Right. I mean, it wasn't. But now we've got this nighttime or an evening show, and we're close to downtown. So yes, touring bands are welcome at Pyragraph Live from the Albuquerque Press Club. It's a cool bar. We'll buy you some drinks.
That's we got
some food.
A full bar going over here.
There's a full bar I can order right over the rail here.
Do that,
no, it's really great. Yeah. So you're out of here.
Cool.
Isn't it great? Have you played here before?
I have, back in the day.
Yeah.
The Grand Canyon going away party was here.
Oh, okay. I just have to share one.
That was the first show I ever went to here.
Really?
Albuquerque when I came 5 years ago. It was when you were in Jenny Hoover.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, and Liza was your bassist.
Oh, that. Okay. Okay. Yes.
Jeremy,
Now-
our
now-
contributing editor, was here. I think that night may have been the night I met Chris Dudley the first time, which is one of the ways that I know you. And actually, I feel like Chris is a musical guardian angel to me. I just I don't know. We played together, and he's so great. And one night, Turtle and I, who had a band called the Moist Towelettes, we had we still do. We still do.
Yeah.
But we had a monthly, it was like the third Wednesday, we would have a little show here called The Litter Box, and we showed up, and then Chris showed up, and he was picking up his washtub bass that he had left the night before, and he was like, oh, it was one of those nights, right? And we just started chatting, and he told me about Grand Canyon, and I was pregnant. I was just about to have a kid, so I kind of missed the heyday of Grand Canyon because of my kid. I mean, it was worth it. It was okay. Yeah, it was worth it. Yeah, it was. But anyway, it was funny, and I think that I met Chris that night for the first time, and we got to know each other after that.
I think that guy's the reason I'm doing my
Right?
stuff now. Probably inspired you to.
Yeah.
be
He helped
playing
me.
music.
He helped me. He taught me a lot of music, and he gave me some cool opportunities, and I loved playing with him. I learned a ton from him.
Sometimes when I'm on stage or I'm about to do a show and I'm nervous about it, or I'm thinking, why am I doing this? I kind of curse Chris Dudley for encouraging me to do this. He didn't even actively, but he inspired me to do it. He
Yeah.
made me, for some reason, think it's a good idea.
Yeah. Yeah.
But-
We love you, Chris.
We love you. I don't think is he? Maybe he is.
I don't know. We're gonna put this up later.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we don't have a guest lined up for next week because we're really tiptoeing our way through this.
Right.
Right.
I'm sure there'll be technical challenges. We'll hear about.
There may be. No, but
And,
Turtle's on it though.
Yeah.
Turtle is on it.
But I think we've done fairly well for our first show.
Totally.
This is how we wrap it up, I guess.
Yeah, I would like to thank our sponsors, the Albuquerque Game Developers Guild,
Mm-hmm.
Music Go Round, who's been awesome, Tractor Brewing, same thing, Mindshare Studios, 516 Arts, Guild Cinema, and Humbird. I always I give a ton of thanks to the team, Sage Harrington, Josh Stuyvesant, Jeremy Kinter, and you, Clark Conde. You make this whole project happen, and I always love giving a shout out to our contributing editor at large, Eva Avenue. It was another way that I know you, Sam, and we all love Eva, and she's going to be back on this show somehow, some way. It's
Absolutely.
going to happen. Thanks always to Turtle for technical support, and I think that's a wrap until next Thursday at 6 o'clock, right?
Next Thursday,
6
6
o'clock.
o'clock.
Pyragraph Live from the Albuquerque Press Club. Thank you
Albuquerque
so
Press
much
Club.
for coming.
Thank you so much for having me.
Really
It's wonderful.
appreciate it. And keep your eyes out for Sam Miller, sammiller.bandcamp.com. And we'll be back next week with more tales from the creative front lines. Ciao.